They have a bureaucratic incentive to feed the machine that keeps the police state so well endowed and well funded. And then when the police state shifts its priorities to conservatives, patriots, Republicans, then a whole different set of incentives kicks in. And I think that is important to understanding the functioning of the police state.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously, as you know very well, I mean, a reminder, though, for the audience, these organizations are chartered it's very explicit, it's very clear that they are not supposed to be weaponized, politicized, any of these things. They're supposed to do X, Y, and Z tasks in defense of the nation and our country's national security, and not venture into any of the territories that we've gone. It's just crazy to see. And as someone who spent a lot of time in the federal government, specifically in the intelligence community, I know that the possibility was there. I know the capability was there. You know, you see the Patriot Act we talk about a lot in the show, and man, I was wrong about that way back when that first started, and I'm an idiot. But I do remember when DHS was formed, thinking this is a horrible idea. And then you've seen all this grow, and everything just has grown and festered to the point where we are now, where everything is so out of control that people are wondering, how the hell do we get ourselves out of this? How do we even fix this? And I'm jumping a little bit ahead because I want to get into a couple other points with you, but how do we fix this?
Well, I mean, let's begin for just a moment by noting, as you say, the supreme irony. The left in the 60s and 70s was against the FBI. They were against the police agencies of government. They were against censorship. They were fighting for the First Amendment. So now you have to ask, how is it possible that this same group is now driving censorship, cheering the organs of censorship, responding bitterly when censorship things are taken down? Elon Musk buys X, Twitter changes it to X. They freak out. They start going after Elon Musk. They've become like cheerleaders of the FBI. They stand in courtrooms where you got, some 65-year-old grandmother who walked into the Capitol on January 6th, and she gets an, prison sentence, and they're like, ha, 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 this is a triumph of democracy. I mean, how do you get such lunacy? And so I think I've identified that we've come to really a bad point. I think now you're asking, how do we get out of it? Well, It's not going to be one thing. It's not just about like we elect Trump, it's going to be over. No, you have to fight on many fronts. So censorship, I mean, there's an important case coming up before the Supreme Court. It's Missouri versus Biden. And the court is going to decide it next spring. Now that for me is too long, because think of it, there are millions of people who've been censored. There are millions of people being censored right now. The Supreme Court is saying, we're not going to stop that, but we will deal with it in like 6 months. But the court does have a chance to give a major drop kick to censorship. Now, it wouldn't stop Facebook and YouTube from doing their own censorship, but it would get the government's grubby paws out of it. And that would be progress.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's something the court can do. Now, obviously, you need the presidency to fix the executive wing of the government. If you want to remake the FBI, revamp the DHS, you need to be in charge of the executive branch. But there's a lot of things also that Republican governors, secretaries of state, attorneys general can do at the state level. So there are a number of institutions that are in play here. I think part of the problem here is the psychology of people on the right tends to be very conformist. And in fact, even when people on the right witness gangster-like behavior coming from the police agencies of government, they immediately forswear it and say, if we're in charge